So earlier in the show, we were talking about how cool it can be to meet your heroes. Well, that happened for me recently when I got to interview the iconic Carol Burnett. The 91-year-old star is keeping us laughing as she stars in Apple TV Plus's new show, Palm Royale.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm so good. I'm sorry. I'm crying right now. I was going to hold it together, Carol. I really was.
Oh,
am I like the fourth person that's cried meeting you today?
No. You're fine.
It is such an honor to meet you, honestly. And so cool to see you in Palm Royale because it's such a great show. And I have to say, you're probably the only actress I know that can create an ambiance while in a coma. So did that take work or did you just sleep?
It was the easiest gig I ever had. I said, it was funny. You get up at 5 a.m, you go to the studio, you get into the trailer, they put the makeup on you, you get into your costume, and then I went right back to bed.
So that is perfect.
Totally perfect. I said, boy, this is easy, Am I getting paid for this?
Well, hey.
And it was fun then when she starts to come out of the coma to try to talk, right?
Yeah.
And so I asked the director, I said, what do I do? He said, just mumble and do gibberish, but have what the thought is in your head that you're trying to say, even though it's coming out mumbling, that she knows what she's trying to get across. Well, yeah. And that was fun to play. So I just did a bunch of syllables. Well, I was there, and then I was in but in my mind, I knew what I was trying to say to Kristen, for instance.
Those are the things that are so interesting to hear behind the scenes. And I have to say, we had to wait, I think it was like 3 episodes for you to get out of that coma.
3 or 4, yes.
3 or 4. And then you finally come out and your character is not very nice.
No, not at all.
So like you're the queen of sketch comedy. Is it fun to play a mean girl?
Oh, yeah. I played a mean girl when I did Miss Hannigan in Annie.
Yes. Oh, Miss Hannigan.
And then I played a killer years ago when I did a guest shot on Law and Order SVU with Mariska Hargitay. And I played a murderess. And they're fun to play because the secret, I think, to being a villain is not to play it as a villain. The villains always think they're right. Think they're good. They think everybody else is wrong, and they're going to set everything right.
Yeah.
I mean, Miss Hannigan thought those orphans were horrible.
Poor Miss Hannigan had so much put on her.
I know, exactly. And so they're fun to play. And of course, Norma is a mystery because at the end, you find out in the last episode that she's not really Norma, who she's somebody named Agnes. And so I can't wait to find out how Agnes became Norma. How did she take that identity?
Well, and I think that's the thing that's so interesting about this show is there's so many twists and turns. Both you and Kristen are incredibly funny women. How often do you crack each other up? By the way, I call this, when you're on TV and you crack each other up, I call this the koala effect. Because, of course, of Tim Conway.
Oh, right. Koala.
Koala.
Well, it was, when we would crack up, it wasn't as often as people think. They just remember it. And it mainly was Conway trying to get Harvey. That would be it. And he would change the dialogue. We'd do 2 shows on a Friday for 2 different audiences. And the first show, Tim would do it just exactly as it was written and the way we rehearsed it.
Of course.
Then the second show, he would go off script and do all kinds of shtick, and just to really get Harvey. And it worked. And Harvey hated to break up.
I'm sure.
He hated it. You know, he was proud of his what we call serious comedy chops.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Tim, all he had to do was look at him crazy, and Harvey would be gone. And it was it was delicious.
Oh my gosh, can you believe?
Fun.
At the end, what you didn't see, we cut it out, was at the end because they cut you off at a certain point because she's got so many interviews to do and she's so gracious. I just started thanking her for emotional again.
I like it
because she was like one of the first women in television who was real and honest, and she'd stand. Sorry, but she'd stand up there in front of people at a time in Hollywood when you had to be perfect, you had to be beautiful, and she was just her.
You had to maintain that sense of beauty, and she would do these skits with Vicki Lawrence and the Carol Burnett show where she wouldn't be that attractive. And it was, you're right, unheard of. And
it was unheard of.
For me, you took me back to a place where my parents would watch the Carol Burnett show, and I'm sure saying, what is this? But in my mind, the Tim Conway, the Harvey Korman, the Vicki Lawrence, and their relationship, and a time, you're right, when you could be funny and real and not worry about what you looked like.
And here's the thing, I didn't realize that it wasn't in its original run when I was watching it because of reruns. Remember, you just watched what was on TV. You didn't get to choose. There was no streaming. There was not even cable. You just sat down, and if MASH was on, you watched MASH.
You watched MASH.
When Carol Burnett was on, it was my favorite. And it never got old, and it was so much fun.
And I did watch it in its original form, and then reruns because I think it went till 78. Started in 67, I think it went through 78. So I would have been just starting high school. But I do remember it was TV that, you're right, you sat and watched, that's what was on, and you watched it whatever weekday it was on, and it brought a lot of sweet nostalgia seeing her. And then Miss Hannigan.
Oh my gosh, Miss Hannigan. If you've never seen the original Annie, you gotta watch it. It is so good. It's such a performance. You know, it's such a song and dance show. It's so beautiful.
And what she said about villains was genius. You don't have to play them any other way than they're always right.
Right, and so she's just phenomenal. And you know what I also love is at the end of every Carol Burnett show, she would tug on her ear to say hi to her mom.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's what I heard. I didn't get a chance to ask her, but it's just amazing to see her. So
nice, good memories. I love that you teared up. I
did. You
don't do that very often, and so it's real and genuine.
I am very, very seldom starstruck, but I truly was. Thank you for sharing this with me, Suze.